And there we go. Welcome, Whiskey Wednesday, folk. It is Wednesday again, and I'm pleased to be back here at my favorite spot in the studio, where the mics are placed so carefully at random, and hanging out with my good friend here, Dave Mowat. And I can say good friend because we've been friends now for, it's got to be 15 years anyways.
Pushing 15.
Yeah, I think so.
It's pushing 15.
And me and Dave played music for a lot of years.
3 years steady with the VSPs. And
with the variety show players, yeah. That was me and you and Ken Layton for the longest time. And then Ken Grant came in on that one.
That's right.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We were all younger then.
We were.
Younger and...
wilder. Young and wilder. Then.
Young and wild, for sure, for sure. Anyways, folks, Caitlin, I'm going to have to get you to just look at the volume things there, see if they're reset back to around 5. Yeah, and that nothing is turning red there. That's excellent. I'm glad to hear that, Caitlin. Thank you very much. I'm going to play a video later on for Driver 8, which is going to be the next single that's going to come out, or the next single from the next song from the record. It's an REM cover, and I'm using the video to share with you all the artwork of Al Petman. Have you seen Al's artwork?
No.
He's up on the Crow. He's a photographer. He's just, I think he's retired up this way, or I don't know if retired's the right word. He's living up here. And he does great rock and roll photography. He's done some of his work with Kim Mitchell is absolutely amazing, and a few other sort of big Canadian bands. But he also does this great wildlife and portrait photography. So I'm excited to have him on the video. We'll play that in a little bit. But we got Dave here tonight, and I'm thinking we should play a little something, Dave. Needed Time. Do you feel like playing that one? Or is there something that we talked about that you feel like playing right off the hop?
Well, Hard Living's kind of...
Hard Living? Okay. We talked about that one. That was in C, right?
It was in
okay,
C.
So this is... See, now this is what happens. All you who know me, you know that I'm not at all a blues player. There are so many great blues guitar players around, and they do all these really cool things. Which I don't do.
But this song is actually written by a Texas country
Yes, this is a country blues tune, right? Yeah.
That's right.
So I'm not sure if I got all the stuff to fill it in, but you know,
Jerry Jeff Walker did it, and he just
we played it along, and we used to play this towards the end of the variety show. I think we played this at Janet Jeffrey's wedding, if I remember correctly. Did we?
Could very well agree.
At the church. Okay, so get her going there, Dave.
Well, you can call out the sheriff and the highway patrol. There's a fool on the highway running out of control. It's fast liquor, hard women, sure won't leave them be. You know, I wish hard living didn't come so easy to me. I got my engine running, got my beer on ice. Might be a heaven, be a paradise. It's 7 come 11. Please set this poor boy free. You know, I wish hard living didn't come so easy to me. And I'm downtown, I'm messing around. I got my mind in the lost and found. Step inside, don't be shy, 'cause every pretty woman's got a ticket to ride. Well, won't you give me a shot of high-octane juice? There ain't a cure for the honky-tonk blues, and if I come up with one, I have a 2 and a T. You know, I wish hard living didn't come so easy to me. I'm messing around. I got my mind in the lost and found. Step inside, don't be shy, 'cause every pretty woman's got a ticket to ride. Well, when my tires are flat and I'm just out of gas, I always wish that with the next one pass. I wish that a promise that didn't break so easily. You know, I wish hard living didn't come so easy to me. You know, I wish hard living didn't come so easy to me. You know, I wish hard living didn't come so easy to me. Hard living, all right.
Oh man, that's the first complete song that we've played in quite a while.
It is.
Yeah, and I figure it's hot as balls up here, and we should probably take breaks between songs and chat a little bit and catch up. You know,
Sounds good to me.
because like last time we were hanging out, you were like you were rock and rolling with us, and we were staying out late and driving home late and getting home early the following day type of thing. But we were doing what we've always done, right? Playing music, and you know that's what we have to do. But then, you know, sort of circumstances changed, and we've been in different directions for a while, and now you're like, you're the chief of Alderville, which is, man, just
The complete left.
complete left. And when you're not singing, I'm just going to ask you to move into about right there. Now, there you go. Yeah, just lean in so people can hear you.
Sure.
Tell me, man, what's been going on?
Well, I was elected July 5th, 2019, and we hit the ground running. Fully new council, 4 councillors and myself were elected. And I got to tell you, though, my election was bookended by 2 suicides. I was still working at Scugog Island First Nation at the time, and a young lad who I knew quite well over there committed suicide on Thursday, July 4th, and then I was elected on July 5th, and then on July 6th, my cousin committed suicide. So it sounds grim and morbid, but that was my reality.
Oh, yeah.
As my wife and I coined the term, I went from chief to grief in 24 hours. So that was a heck of a challenge to, you know, get elected and then within a week be giving a eulogy at a funeral. But it's been nonstop. You know, Alderville is a vibrant community, and economically, politically, you know, socially, there's lots of stuff going on. And then, boom, in March of 2020, pandemic hits. So, to top off a lot of what was going on and what we were trying to accomplish out of the gates, within a short period of time, we're hit with a pandemic, and that just compounded a lot of the pressure and you know, it compounded a lot of the actually put us in a new direction quite quickly to have to respond to that.
Yeah.
But I can say 15 months or so later that we kept the community safe, and we only had 2 cases in the community over all of that time, so we were quite fortunate.
Wow.
And now we are fully vaccinated. The community's fully vaccinated, so
It is?
yeah,
Oh, that's great.
doubly vaccinated.
The full community, that's amazing.
Full community's double vaccinated. Even the 12 to 17-year-olds, at last count there was 45 that had received their vaccination, and then of course, as we know, under 12 not eligible at this point. But that took some arm wrestling to get that done, but with good health staff and with my fortitude, certainly going head to head with the chief medical officer of the day, we got it done.
Do you find or do you think you're winning more of the arm wrestling matches these days?
I would say, I'm winning most of them.
That's good.
But there's always issues that you're not going to win per se. You're going to just have to deal with and manage the best way possible.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Politics is. I mean, me. I'm politically, not where I should be, but I'm learning about it all. It seems fascinating. I just can't believe that you've been doing that.
Yeah, it's been a great experience. A great learning experience.
Yeah.
I love to learn, and so on that basis, it's been great, exciting
Cool.
to learn, continue to learn.
Well, I've only been over there a few times. I've been to a bunch of shows with you there at the, was that the community center there? Yeah. And over to your place, and it seems nice enough. It seems nice just like everywhere else up here.
It's a good community,
We're in a real nice part of the area.
Oh, beautiful.
This whole sort of. I moved out here years ago, and I love it. So.
How long have you been here now, Ken?
21 years.
21
Caitlin's
years.
21, so it's been 21 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. 21 years.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Raised the family here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to play another tune. Caitlin has disappeared, and as has the. But I hear footsteps, and she's back now. Look at that. Oh, that's a beautiful sweater you're wearing tonight. I didn't even notice that.
I just put it on.
Oh, you just put it on. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well, that's why. Maybe I'm more aware than I thought. So me and Dave were knocking around some tunes. Dave's going to play a whole slew of blues stuff. A lot of it that I won't do justice, but I'll sit and listen to this guy because he's a master at it. But I was thinking, do you got something on your mind for next? I keep looking down and I see all these songs. I'm like,
You know what? Needed Time would be cool.
Needed Time?
Just came over me. Needed Time.
Yeah.
Given
Okay.
what's going on, and
That's a beautiful one. Now what's the history of that one, Dave?
well, you know what? The first time I ever heard Needed Time, if you're familiar with that movie called Sounder, Paul Winfield and Cicely Tyson were in that movie. And it was about a sharecropping family, and they were poor sharecroppers. And there was an itinerant musician in that movie that traveled around, and it was actually Taj Mahal that played the role of the itinerant musician. And I heard that song. He played that song in that movie. But the first time I ever heard this song played live was at Times Change Cafe in Winnipeg. And Big Dave McLean would play it, and so I was so moved by that song that I was compelled to start doing it myself. And it's a beautiful song. Lightning Hopkins recorded a beautiful rendition in the late '40s. That's probably my favorite rendition. But the only other I only heard it live from Big Dave McLean. And it's a beautiful song.
He's quite a character too.
He was good to me over the years, Big Dave.
Yeah, his name was always. It's always been there. I was never close to him in any way, shape, or form. Mostly through my association with you, because
Right.
I've heard so many stories.
Yeah.
But spending so much time in Winnipeg, I did.
That guy, he knows so many jokes. He was playing in Port Hope. Him and Doc McLean were doing a gig in Port Hope, and quite a number of years ago. And I took Jan, and we went, and Dave just said, it was good to see you. And the first thing he did is tell a joke. And I only know one other man by the name of Boyd Chatton, who actually lived in Campbellford here. And Boyd probably told 2 jokes a day, and I worked with Boyd for 2 years. So I estimated that Boyd probably told me 700 plus jokes in those 2 years. And Big Dave McLean would be a close second.
That's wild. It's funny that you say that, because I have a friend named Boomer Stamp, who's from Newfoundland, and every time I see him, even if it's only for 3 minutes in passing, he tells me a joke, and if I spend more time with him, more than 10 minutes, there will be a second and often a third joke. But he's always like it, and I've always wondered how can I describe this guy where people can understand it. But you just nailed it so well. That's,
Dave was the first one to give me an opportunity to play publicly in Winnipeg, and he used to run a great Saturday afternoon jam at Blues Jam at the Viscount Court out on Portage, St. James.
Yeah,
and that was the most popular blues jam in probably in Manitoba at the time.
it probably was.
But
yeah.
it was the mecca of blues jams in Winnipeg at the time. And I remember, working my way into the point where he asked me up to play, and we played a Jimmy Reed tune, Hush Hush. And we became friends from there on.
That's
He's
crazy.
a good man. And he's an Order of Canada recipient as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. A
That's
great
really cool.
purveyor of the blues, but also a great a teacher and a real supporter of younger talent that comes through.
That's awesome.
A great
Yeah,
man.
I've only ever heard good things, and his name comes with a certain amount of reverence, which is really neat.
Yeah, and we used to go, before I even knew him, I would probably go down to the Blue Note on Main Street, and that's where we would usually catch him played at night.
Yeah, I missed those times. I came to town too late. He was still around, but the scene wasn't there, I don't think, and not the way I hear it talked
When
about.
did you get to Winnipeg? In 94?
92?
92.
Yeah. I mean, Times Changed was there, of course. It still is today.
Yes, it was at that time.
But the scene, there was a lot of younger bands writing radio songs, trying to get signed. There was a big hustle at the time, and Winnipeg was very active with that. Lots of bands from Winnipeg were, coming down to Toronto to try and get
Crash
signed and
Test
stuff.
Dummies, I think.
Yeah, well, they did quite well. Yeah.
Ben Darville was their harp player, and he went on to become quite accomplished as what does he call himself now? I can't remember what he calls himself. He's in England, I think, actually. Ben is now. But a great music town, Winnipeg.
Oh yeah.
Great music town.
It reminded me so much of Newfoundland when I got there. It's just like long, cold winters, just
Yep.
stay inside and, just kind of...
Two
Play
seasons
music.
there, is that they say? 2 seasons? Construction season and winter.
Yeah. Mosquito season is one of those brief ones,
Yeah,
too. I think it
mosquitoes,
deserves its own season, those things.
I think mosquito was the mosquito was the provincial bird of Manitoba.
Had we decided on a song? I think we had, hadn't
Yeah, I
we?
think we had actually.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. I often choose a song and then talk and forget about what I had chosen, but I'm glad you're here to keep it in mind.
Jesus, won't you come by here? 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 Right now is a needed time. Right now is a needed time. Jesus, won't you come by here? Right now is a needed time. Right now is a needed time. Jesus, won't you come by here? I can't stay long. I come by, but I can't stay long. Jesus, won't you come by here? I come by, but I can't stay long. I come by, but I can't stay long. Jesus, won't you come by here? I write down on my knees and pray. I write down on my knees and pray. Jesus, won't you come by here? I write down on my knees and pray. I write down on my knees and pray. Jesus, won't you come by here? Hallelujah.
Oh. So, are you into that one because of the blues tune or because of the Christian? Like, how does the Christianity fit into your profile?
Right, that's a good question.
I'm curious.
That is a very good question because, as a lover and purveyor of the blues, it's hard to sing that without touching on God or the Lord or Jesus.
Yeah.
And of course, being raised in the church and being, young and even confirmed in the United Church, that was just a way of life. And I love gospel music. I love black gospel music. And as far as Christianity goes, it's taken a beating. It's taken a beating right now.
Yeah.
It's taken a beating. But as I say, sorry about that.
You can get that if you need to. You're a pretty important guy these days.
Oh, thanks. Okay. I'll phone back. It's taken a beating right now, but when it comes to the residential schools and the Catholic Church, et cetera, it wasn't Jesus that did that. In fact, I'd like to know, what would Jesus think? What would have Jesus done? And so for myself, I put him over here, and I deal with how people used his word and used religion for their own twisted purposes.
Yeah.
It's a difficult subject, but there's a lot of Christian people in First Nations that go to church. I mean, my mother goes faithfully to church every Sunday.
Well, there's Christians everywhere.
Everywhere.
I mean, there's
all over the world, right?
Yeah.
But right now, it's a real difficult time. But being a historian and being one who informs himself continuously, I have to compartmentalize my view of what's going on, or what has gone on in the residential school issue, and compartmentalize that and look at that, through that lens. And as far as, the evolution of Christianity, I think that's a different animal altogether. And, but as a historian, I kind of protect the church in Alderville as well because it's a historical building. Our community was established in 1835. The survey took place in 1835. Our people moved there in 1837, and of course the church was very influential in that. But as a historical building built in 1870, the first generation of people that moved from the Bay of Quinte to Alderville, they sat in that church. And so historically, it's of great importance in that regard. But again, it's a difficult time. Christianity's taking a beating right now.
I think a lot of the powers that have been are taking a beating, and right now it's this. There seems to be no hiding from the past anymore. It's coming out in so many different ways.
Well put. There's no hiding.
It's just a really strange time, and I think it's a good time, but it also comes with a lot of discovery and discovery. I shouldn't have even. My wife was talking to me about discovery the other day. She's been listening to the CBC podcast every day, and then we have a chat about it. And she was telling me about the use of that word, and it's one of those things that just kind of hit me about sort of how much I still have to learn about it all.
Speaking of discovery, there was 182 more unmarked graves found today at another site. So even that word has taken on a different connotation.
Yeah, it's a really strange and difficult time for everybody.
And I've been getting multiple calls, emails, phone calls, letters from people of all walks of life, from the Archbishop of Peterborough, the Catholic Diocese, to the average Joe or Jane on Facebook, who just are seeking answers of their own.
Yeah.
And I really have no answers for people other than to say, well, if you reached out to me, people that are asking, what can I do? I said, well, you've already done something. You reached out, and you are seeking somebody in our First Nation or any First Nation. You're reaching out, and that's a first good step. And I've never experienced that before. I've been working for Alderville and or Scugog Island First Nation for a long, long time. And people would reach out to better understand the history, but not to the level that they're reaching out now. Daily.
Yeah. Well, I think that's fantastic.
Well, it's a new time. It's a new chapter that we're writing, I guess. A new chapter is being written.
It all seems incredibly positive, in the wake of this horrible discovery. It's just like it's good to hear that this is happening. I don't talk too much personally about it, or I don't try and push any viewpoints of anything, as people know. But I do know that the last few years for me, I'm just becoming more and more aware of my ignorance on so many levels, and just like you said, reaching out and asking those questions is a first step, and I think there's a lot of us doing that.
And with social media and with the internet, there's a lot of that information available now.
Yeah.
All of these, like the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, it's easily accessible online. And so that's what I point a lot of people to, and send them the internet address.
Yeah.
Do read it at your leisure. The 94 calls to action are easily accessible, unlike before. Unlike 25 years ago, say, where that information wasn't as easily accessible, it's all easily accessible now. Yeah. So.
I think I saw the link for that on your Facebook page actually today.
That's right. There you go. Yeah. So on that basis, there's no excuse not to be informed. One just has to move your finger there and start to manipulate your computer and look for it. Yeah.
We do that. We do enough of that.
Yeah. It's
and to do it for something good is, well, that's great to know. Weird times.
Very strange.
Yeah.
New times.
Yeah.
And not to mention the statues coming down. Some statues coming down, and it's something I never thought I would see. I am surprised that I'm living to see it. I never ever really expected I would see it. But here we are in the midst of it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, it seems the last 20 years have been a tipping point on so many levels. We went from slow build to like everything, you know, technology, super speed of everything, super globalization. And it's affected us on a, you know, on a human being level, just the way that we are, you know. Well, let's go back. Let's play something old then. Oh, you got that tune. Oh, I don't know if you want to play that one yet. I'm going to let you look at the list and pick, man.
Well, why don't you
We were talking about maybe trying Poncho, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Poncho.
Pancho by the great Townes Van Zandt.
Yeah, you saw Townes, didn't
I
you?
had the pleasure of seeing Townes early 1990s with Guy Clark in a small club in Winnipeg. And a friend of mine, George Kemp, and I went to see. It was after the Winnipeg Folk Festival. They used to have this week or two of where the musicians would stay behind and do gigs around
Right.
the city.
Oh, that's cool.
You might remember that. I don't know, but I know that Townes and Guy, they stayed after, and they hung out for I don't know a week or so after, and it was amazing. I remember Townes had plaid cheap slippers on. And I think he'd just come down from upstairs in his room, and
Probably, yeah.
And Guy was quite pissed off at the sound man. In fact, he was. I wouldn't have wanted to be the sound man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, like
Guy was
verbally,
not-
like telling him off?
Verbally, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was. He got a serious dressing down by Guy Clark. You know, if you're going to get a serious dressing down,
Well, yeah.
there's no better person to get dressed down by than Guy Clark.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
But it was a time to remember. Yeah, amazing. And then I don't.
How was the show?
Oh, it was
Was it
amazing.
brilliant?
You
Yeah.
know, like it was just brilliant. It was everything you would expect, and it was so intimate,
Yeah.
and could hear so well, and it wasn't like sitting at the Winnipeg Folk Festival, you know, back on the grass,
Right.
which was cool too. But to sit in a small club in Winnipeg, and it was in the Osborne Village actually, and to have been witness to that was super amazing.
Yeah. It wasn't the zoo.
It was actually the zoo, but it was upstairs.
It was upstairs of the zoo?
Yeah, it was the zoo, all right.
Townes
In
Van
fact, I was playing the zoo when my son Jordan was born on September 8th, 1994. Yeah, the zoo.
Okay, we've all had the
Zoo
zoo
Lounge.
experience.
That's where I saw Johnny Winter actually was at the Zoo Lounge, too.
Oh, wow. I think you told
At
me
the
that
zoo,
once
yeah.
before, yeah.
Yeah, Osborne Village.
Winnipeg is such a special place in my heart, man. I'm not from there, but I spent significant time
Yeah,
there.
I'm not either, but I ended up there
Yeah, you were there for a while.
for a while, yeah.
I'm going to try this in D. How's that for you?
Sure.
Living on the road, my friend, was gonna keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, your breath's as hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only boy, but her favorite one, it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye and sank into your dreams. Pancho's a bandit boy, his horse was fast as polished steel. Wore his guns outside his pants for all the honest world to see. Pancho met his match, you know, on the deserts down Mexico. Nobody heard his dying words, and that's the way it goes. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. A lefty can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Pancho left down south ended up in Richie's mouth. The day they laid poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. There ain't nobody knows. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. Take it away, Dave. Poets tell how Pancho fell, Lefty's living in a cheap hotel. Desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold, so the story ends, I'm told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, to save a few for Lefty too. He only did what he had to do, and now he's getting old. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so wrong. Out of kindness, I suppose. A few great federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so wrong. Out of kindness, I suppose. Mr. Dave Mowat there, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Towns Van Sant. Dave told me before we played, I said, so what about Pancho? And he said, yeah, that's a great song. And I picked up my guitar and I played like a verse of it. And I said, is that good? He said, yeah. He said, I've never played that one before. I said, okay, that's perfect. So, and there it was, your first time, immortalized on the internet. Fantastic work, Dave. It's so nice to see you again, man. I've been suffering from lockdown because of COVID, and the year before I was in lockdown because of Allison. So. Right. It's been a long time for me, and you're outside of the band, and there was somebody by last week. Yeah, we're just starting to have people back into our bubble as it is. Allison's shots are doing really well, and everything is feeling nice, and the doctors say she's doing good, so we're able to start having people back in. I'm so excited to see you again. Really do I have something here I need to see there? Your video is blocked and can't be viewed in 249 locations. That's fantastic. Thank you, Sony Records. Do I want to submit a dispute? Yes, please. Okay, it's not blocked in Canada. Yeah, no, I'm not going to delete this video, and I'm not going to... Yeah, Sony. This is 2 weeks in a row Sony have done this to me. They are... I'm still there. People are still seeing me. Yeah, Sony are blocking me from countries because I'm apparently something that I'm playing they own rights to. And it's not because I'm playing it, but they're saying that I'm playing a recording that I'm not.
So, they need to do their homework. They need to do their homework.
Well, it could be. I'm not sure. Maybe they're trying to shut me down because I have no idea. God. It's 2 weeks in a row now. That does scare me a bit. I'll have to look into that. I'm sorry, Sony, if I am doing something wrong. I will ask again, like I did last week, what it was I'm doing wrong, and when you hear back, we can talk about it, or not. You know, you guys have more money than I do, so so that'll be that. Okay, so.
So it's good to see Allison, by the way. It's great to see Allison.
Yeah.
And to see her outside, and it's really, really wonderful. We followed your journey.
Yeah.
you know, we have followed.
Oh, you guys have been there. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I know.
we
You've
followed
been
the journey.
along the whole way. Yeah, it's nice. We got her that nice fancy new wheelchair, and we got a ramp built out to the back, so I get her out in the backyard every day.
Yeah, it's great.
And I can't get her in the pool yet. She's not quite ready for that, but she might get her in this summer. But yeah, it's great to be able to get her outside.
Yeah,
it's so good.
it's nice.
And we got the yard. We got some plants back there and stuff, so it's a nice place to be.
Yeah.
The dogs hang out. You know. Yeah. Now, when you're not being a counselor and you're not being your solo blues self, you got a band. It's a Curbside Shuffle, right?
Yeah.
And you had that name way before
Yeah.
Curbside became popular.
In Winnipeg. Before
Yeah.
Curbside became so popular,
Yeah.
I never
Like
ever thought the
you're
word
30
curbside,
years
yeah,
ahead.
never thought the word curbside would be so used and
Yeah.
so popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to say 1991, one-ish there was 91 or 2.
Yeah.
Started, which just created that name, the Curbside Shuffle, and it sort of got two meanings, I guess, you know, because playing in Winnipeg, the Windsor Hotel, the times change,
Yeah.
all those clubs, you know, what do? You go out on the sidewalk, you're out on the street. It's close to the curb, but I can remember when I was younger, walking down George Street in Peterborough with my mother, and my mother was on the outside, and I was on the inside, and she said, "You know, David, you're supposed to walk on the outside." And so we crossed as we walked, and we did the Curbside Shuffle.
That's a
Two
good
meanings.
one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I
Yeah.
never forgot that. So I've often used it in two ways: street music, or playing on the street,
Yeah.
and or walking with my mother down Shore Street in Peterborough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody's looking for Dave, you know, you can find. I think Dave Moat and the Curbside Shuffle
Yeah.
have a Facebook page.
Yes.
Yes, I posted a few videos this week, so they should be there, and you can check that stuff out. And you guys recorded. Now, who's in the Curbside Shuffle right now?
Well, Clayton Yates is our guitar player.
Clayton's
and-
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. And we were playing Toronto quite regularly until the pandemic hit. We were playing in the Cameron House quite regularly, actually.
It's a great
and,
spot.
Yeah. And the local
Yeah.
on Rossi, and we did play the Cadillac Lounge before it shut down. But we were just sort of I was getting, like, you know, Clayton's lives in Toronto, and he's kicked around Toronto for a lot of years, but I was just getting sort of established to a certain degree, and then boom, the pandemic hit. So Clayton's been our guitar player, and you know, sometimes Jim Boskill will sit in on
I heard
bass.
Jim's doing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he called Jim now or still Jimmy?
Well, I still refer to him as Jimmy.
Okay.
But
He
you
goes
know,
by. I haven't seen him in years.
I
so-
mean, I've known Jimmy since he was Jimmy at 12
Yeah,
years old. So
exactly.
yeah, Jim on stand-up bass.
He's such a great player. Whatever you
Great
fucking
player.
give him, he's just amazing.
And then whenever possible, Jesse Whiteley on piano.
Excellent.
You know, depending on the budget, right? For the gig, right? And on drums, Steve Mariner played drums on the recording I did with the boys last June, 2020. Multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
Steve Mariner, he's so talented. And or we Al Black sometimes out of Peterborough also covers
Al's
with us.
great, yeah.
Yeah. So, but we do sort of kick it around. We do bring in different rhythm sections, sort of depending on Terry Wilkins as well on stand-up bass. So, you know, it's I kind of dig mixing it up.
Yeah.
I dig mixing it up. When we recorded last June 2020, I recorded with Jim Boskill with Clayton. Jim was on stand-up, Clayton on guitar, Jesse O'Brien on piano, great player out of Hamilton area, and Steve Mariner on drums. And that was
When's that coming out?
a lot of fun. Well, it's just been retweaked. I had mentioned earlier, we recorded it on a, I don't know, circa 1953 Ampex reel to reel. And it was kind of dirty, kind of hissy and poppy, which is, that's all
okay.
I'm used to, really.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started to listen to Little Walter, it was all hissy
Yeah.
and poppy until it was remastered. So like, what's this? You know?
Where'd the air go?
Yeah, where'd the air and all the pops and hisses go? So that was really cool. Jimmy took another run at the tunes and cleaned a lot of them up. So I'm just sort of getting back to re-listening to those. So the boys are pushing me to get it out this year. So
Good.
we'll see.
It's not like you have anything else on your plate.
Yeah. I'm only in re-election mode. There are election in Alderville next Friday. So
Oh, you got an election next Friday.
Yeah, there's not too much going on.
Wow.
Yeah, re-election.
How you feeling going into that? Sorry, now we don't do politics on this show. So how do you feel going into your re-election?
I feel pretty good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, the vibes I've got back from a lot of people, we hit the ground running, and we did a lot of things that were well received. And so, it's always a gamble. Politics is a gamble.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm throwing the dice again, so
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's fantastic.
we shall see. The ballot count goes usually quite late into the early morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I know when I was elected 2 years ago, I fell asleep, and my sister texted me, and it was, I don't know, 12:30 or pushing 1 o'clock, and I drove down to the center, and everybody was gone home by then, so I just came home. I just came home, went to bed.
That is one of the best winning of an election stories
Yeah.
I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's all I did.
So
Came home,
low
went to
key.
bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had a little bit of a shindig the next day, but then, as I mentioned, we were hit with sad news on that
I know.
Saturday. So
Yeah. Oh God.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah, you were in the middle of 2 suicides. Wow. What a.
Yeah.
Good Lord, Dave.
so but we'll see. Next Friday is D-Day.
Well, I'd vote for you, but I don't think I can. Like I said, I don't know about politics. If I can, I will. But,
Okay, well, I'll see what I can do in a week. Yeah,
See if you can get me.
yeah, and and the girls
all
too.
the girls,
Yeah,
the whole
girls,
family.
yeah, the
I'll
whole
just
family?
bring us
Okay.
all in.
We got 3 dogs too, right? Okay, I'll see what I can do.
No, that's great though. I hope that works out. And you're still going to keep playing music, of course.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
betcha.
that's been your
Well,
that's been your
once-
main thing for
Yeah,
a long time.
once things open up again,
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
it'll open up those doors again.
I know.
For all of us, right?
Well, for everybody who's not out at a bar right now and waiting to get back out and might be watching us, let's play them in our tune. What do you want to play?
Sure. What do we got? What do we kick around there?
Oh, we got a whole whack of choices.
John Henry.
Oh yeah, okay. Now, me and Dave used to play this, and we used to play this. I think I even played this on pedal steel for a while, but it was always a breakneck fucking speed.
Acoustic grill, maybe.
Acoustic grill. I was playing acoustic guitar for it then.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it was me and you and Ken Layton,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was listening to that recording this
That was
week.
at the beginning, right?
That was at the very beginning. We didn't have a bass
Frederick
player.
Mowat, I think that became the variety show.
Yeah, the
voice.
Kenneth Frederick Mowat show.
Yeah.
But yeah, we used to do it at a breakneck speed, and I mean, you pace it out for me,
Yeah.
but I'm 10 years older than I used to be, so.
Yeah, this is a great old classic. A lot of people have done this. I was just my good friend Ben Suris just sent me a video of Big Bill Brunsey playing it, and of course I was probably most heavily influenced by the style that Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee did, but there's been a lot of people that have done this song, and so it's one of those old great American standards. So
Well,
here we go.
let's see if I can keep up with you there, buddy.
1, 2, 3. When John Henry was a little baby, sitting on his daddy's knee, he pointed his finger at a little piece of steel. He said, "Steel's gonna be the death of me. Steel's gonna be the death of me. Steel's gonna be the death of me. Lord, Lord, steel's gonna be the death of me." John Henry had a little woman. Her name was Polly Ann. John Henry got sick and he had to go to bed. Polly, she drove steel like a man. Polly, she drove steel like a man.
Polly, she drove steel like a man. Polly, she drove steel like a man. John Henry had another woman. Her name was Polly Ann. John Henry got sick and he had to go to bed. Polly, she drove steel like a man. Polly, she drove steel like a man. Well, they carried John Henry up the mountain. We're on a mountain so high. Last words I heard that poor boy say was, give me a cool drink of water before I die. 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 Well, they carried John Henry to the White House, and then they let him in the sand. Every time a locomotive would come rolling by, yonder lays a steel driving man. 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 All aboard!
I almost even played a blues chord at the end. What do you think of that, eh? Oh, man, I sit next to you. I just try and hold it together, man. It's like, it's always such a whirlwind. You know, it's the stories, the jokes. You're a funny guy. You're always a pleasure to be around. It's been one of the highlights of living up here. I've been saying for a long time that when I start being able to have guests, I want to have Dave. You know, because I know that we can sit and kind of just do stuff, and it's going to work.
Well, I've watched you here. I've watched you. Now I'm here. Like, this is weird.
It's weird, eh?
Yeah,
I know. You used to watch it
Yeah.
through the air,
Yeah,
and now
that's
your
right.
hair going out through the air to everybody else.
Very cool.
I hope Jan and the kids are watching.
Jan probably she might be
She
watching.
might be watching. Okay, cool.
But
Jan, if you are watching, we're sorry you couldn't make it tonight. Allison was really looking forward to seeing you, as was I. But Allison's been really talking about it all week, so we're gonna have to have you and Jan and Brooklyn over for a proper dinner some night where we're not busy doing all this stuff.
Jan's she's a good critic, I guess, or like she.
Oh, yes.
She knows when I don't get something right. She knows when I don't say something right. Yeah.
Yes, she knows language for sure.
Yes.
She has a way of playing with words that nobody else I know can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty incredible. Well, we look forward to having you.
There's not too
next
many
time.
people that have ever made me nervous, really, playing music. I know Brent Parkin in Winnipeg. He could make me nervous. And he would never go out of his way, but it's just because of his quality as a player.
Yeah.
And I told this to Brian Finley once. We were playing at the pub over the bridge, and Brian walked in and he sat down, and there I am thinking, I'm just a country blues harmonica player, and there's Brian, a classically trained piano player, and And I told him that. He said, "What, are you crazy? I love this stuff." So he put me at ease.
Brian's got a great way of doing that. I've written musicals with him. I've spent a year at a time working from conception to having it on stage, and they're some of the most amazing, and also I would say terrifying, but he makes it so comfortable.
Right.
But I find it amazing that somebody who has that sort of concept and skill with music, his knowledge, his brain, his intuition, his essence musically. And I said, well, what can I possibly bring to this? But he always has a way of making me feel that, this thing that I do, whatever it is, adds a value to what he's doing. And together we've written, 3, and I think we've put off 6, if not 7 musicals. And it's just been great musical experiences. It's always...
And Jordan was involved with him on that Christmas show.
Yes, and he told me some great... He just loved Jordan.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a really cool show. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Jordan was on his game, too, in that choir.
Jordan's doing some amazing things, man.
Yeah.
Jordan's David's son, and he does some singing and some drumming, but he also does some stuff with electronic stuff where he kind of drums through and filters and stuff.
Well, he's a great singer.
His singing is amazing.
And being on the Powwow Trail since he'd been sitting around the big drum since he was 2 years old.
Yeah.
So he's a veteran, and he sits up until the pandemic with a group called Bear Creek.
Yes.
And they're champions. They've been all over North America, and he's just an inspiration. He's inspiring.
But on the other side, he'll grab an acoustic guitar and he starts singing these songs. He sounds like this stuff that Caitlin and Cathy are listening to.
Right.
These wonderful, crafty guitar writing young singers. It's just amazing stuff.
He's got quite a few followers on YouTube. He's actually making money off YouTube now.
Good for him.
They monetize some of his stuff, and he's got one video. It's called "I Love You." He's got 1.2 million views on this.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And there's this young girl. I don't even know what her name is. Her name's Jordan too, and she's from, I don't know, somewhere in Western Canada or maybe somewhere in the United States. And she is on his YouTube channel, and this girl has maybe 150 views, and she's in her kitchen, somewhere probably in her First Nation community. She's in her kitchen. She's got Jordan on her boombox, and she's singing to him, and it's the most moving. It's the most moving video. One of the most moving videos I've seen, because he's inspiring young people.
I see him online. It just lights me up. It's great to see.
Yeah. And we got to get him recorded.
Well, I was saying to you last year, I'd love to get Jordan in here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the studio is a family space,
Sure. Yeah,
and that'd be great. And then the pandemic, of course, crushed everything.
Yeah.
But we're coming to a point where things are going to start opening again, and that's, I mean, not that anybody knows it now that we're talking about it online, but yeah, I was going to talk to him about that.
Groovy, man.
That'd be cool. Was there anything I had to say tonight? I mean, I don't even know. I didn't even put my watch on the night. We're at 9 o'clock. Okay, so we got another little run here left. I just want to see if there's anything that I missed here. No. Oh, there was a Watchman question, and then somebody, and then they asked me last week, and then I said, send me a reminder, and they sent me a reminder at dinner time, and I said, thanks, I'll remember that, and now I can't remember what the question was. It was Watchman related. I'll promise I'll answer it next week. I owe you one. Tomorrow you've got a Sea of Orange happening.
Yes.
That's 11 a.m. over at the community center in Alderville.
Yes. On when the first discovery of the 215 unmarked graves in Kamloops came out on May 28th, we organized, along with a community member, Greg Smoke, organized a march from our health building up to 45 to the monument, and everybody wore orange, and it was really impromptu, but it was beautiful actually. And the OPP and EMS, they led us down the highway for safety purposes, and then at the monument, I sort of took the helm and spoke to some of the issues, and it was really beautiful actually. And then of course we found out that there's more discoveries, and today, even today, there was 182 more unmarked graves found in at the former site of the St. Eugenie's Mission School in BC, and so tomorrow we had council today, and I was kicking this around with Greg Smoke again, and then I wanted full council support, and so tomorrow I've called for a Sea of Orange to meet us at the Alderville Community Center parking lot, and we will walk out of the parking lot along our church, because the congregation has set up a nice memorial in front of the church. We'll walk up along the church up to the monument and have a little time of reflection there at the monument, and then we'll walk up the 45 highway back to the community center, and then I'll take the helm and speak to this ongoing issue.
And that's at 11 tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in putting the call out, we welcome all of our allies as well, because since May 28th, like I mentioned, I'm getting multiple emails, messages, telephone calls, letters, etc. So I've, welcomed our allies to be there tomorrow as well.
That's
so
amazing.
I'm looking, apparently it's 80% thunderstorms, but that's why they invented hats or umbrellas.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just there's this urgency amongst our people in Alderville to continue keeping this out front in the public eye, and I know people have been chomping at the bit because tomorrow's Canada Day. It's certainly a different time.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. We do have, the Canadian flag flies at the monument, and I have advised that no, we don't. If we were to take the flag down and put an orange flag up for the time being, okay, I could live with that. I'd be okay with that. But because it's at the monument, and because our soldiers died and fought for either the Canadian Expeditionary Force in World War I and or the Canadian Army in World War II, that's sort of hallowed ground. So we have the flag at half-mast, and we also have another flagpole with the Alderville flag there, and they've been at half-mast since May 29th. So that's unprecedented too in the community. Yeah. I've never ever known our flags to be at half-mast for so long. Wow. It almost seems like they shouldn't go up. It's a strange feeling. The last advisory I gave to the community, and I did run it by council, that we would raise the flags on July 2nd. But with this last discovery, I don't know. It's a strange feeling.
Yeah, I think your feeling of strangeness, for lack of a better word. I think that's felt by a lot of people. I know that I'm seeing the social media feed, even though what I'm probably seeing is probably being dictated by, whatever I speak. But I see a lot of people in the same boat. They don't quite know what to do, and they don't quite know how to do it. But at least we're talking about it. And
Exactly.
That's good.
That's a good step, right? First good step. And people, like I say, like I mentioned earlier, people just reaching out and writing that letter or sending that email, that's a first good step.
Yeah.
And they're asking me, what can I do? And all I can say is that, well, you did the first thing, which is reach out.
Make a call, walk in, talk to somebody. Yeah. Go to Alderville tomorrow. Show your support.
Come to Alderville and show us your support. Walk side by side with us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get two more songs in here. I'm thinking. Do you feel like doing Leland tonight? I'm thinking Leland and St. James and Fermi. Do those two sound cool to you?
Did you have one more that you wanted to?
Oh man, they hear me all the time. I can do Way to the World if you want to play along with that.
Yeah.
And then which one after that, Leland?
Probably Leland after that.
Okay, we'll do Way to the World.
It's got a bit of a interesting.
It does. Shows a different side of different side of Dave.
The McLaren furnace room, or
exactly. Yeah. Oh God, McLaren was my was my place for sure.
That was the first place that I ever stayed in Winnipeg. Was the McLaren.
Was the McLaren? Oh my goodness! I never stayed there. Oh God! I did sleep there in the furnace room many times, but I never stayed in an actual room. I used to win the bar to get the grilled cheese sandwich. That was it.
Right.
I just go in and just, can I have a grilled cheese sandwich, please? And just
They
stand
start serving
and
at
wait.
9 in the morning there, right?
Oh yeah.
9 in
Well,
the
I
morning.
mean,
They closed early, but they started serving at 9 in the morning.
yeah, it was full. Yeah, I mean, it was a
Unprecedented.
neat spot. Okay, so there's a song that we recorded with the Variety Show Players.
Right.
We did this one with Ken Friesen out in Ottawa. We recorded that out at his place. Yeah, Ken Friesen's got a nice spot out there. Ken Layton and me and you and Ken Grant was in the
yeah.
band at the time. You got a picture there of the band? Yeah, the four of them there. That's it. That's me and then Ken Layton, then Ken Grant, who you all know, and then Dave Mowat on the end.
Yeah.
That was actually taken out at the schoolhouse.
That's right.
Yeah, that was only a few years back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We did a
what we were
reunion
doing.
gig there,
We
I
did a
think.
reunion
Something
gig,
like that,
something
yeah.
like that. Oh yeah, that's right. It
At
was
Hastings,
fun.
didn't we? At the,
In Hastings.
At
Oh, we
the
did one in
Gon-
Hastings
gondola.
at the. No, it was at the Waterfront Festival.
okay, yeah. Waterfront Festival,
So I'm going to play this in C. Dedicate this to GT Mike. You know GT?
yeah. Betcha.
He'll be watching in his trailer. I am a sinner and an addict, and I can't forget all the things I've done to me. I've got many regrets. I am a faker, a loser on the best days. I can barely keep my head up to stay awake. I've got a story, I wrote it between the lines. If you follow me, I can promise it'll end just fine. 'Cause my back hurts from carrying the weight of the world. 'Cause my back hurts from carrying the weight of the world. It's getting late, I'm getting lonely, and I'm sinking fast. Just a phone call to say hello, get me past. In the distance, the dogs are barking, keeps me awake. With a tapping of my foot on the floor as I wait for day. As I wait for day. My back hurts from carrying the weight of the world. I need a night in the city with an old-fashioned girl. A little living and some time to let the colors swirl. Oh, let the colors swirl. 'Cause my back hurts from carrying the weight of the world. Take it away, Dave. I'd say I'm sorry, and you treat me with the best of kind. If you follow me, there's one thing on my mind. There's something to be said for familiar voices, something to be said for familiar choices,
Something to be said for what me and you can do, what we get to do. Ooh, 'cause my back hurts from carrying the weight of the world. I need a night in the city with an old-fashioned girl. A little living and some time to let the colors swirl. 'Cause my back hurts from carrying the weight of the world.
There you go. I think you recorded that song in the toilet.
I did.
Yeah, I remember you had your head in the toilet bowl
Yep.
to get the resonant sound off of the porcelain in the
It
water.
was hot in there doing that. I don't know how many takes we did on that, but yeah, it was. When was that? It was. I think I was down in my long underwear.
You were
all
on the
time.
second floor. Ken was set up on the second floor as well, outside playing the drums, and
Yeah.
I was downstairs.
That's right. In the
And
can.
and every song you'd report, I'm in the corner now by the shower head. I've got my head in the sink.
Yeah.
And
that
I think
was
you
cool.
recorded that one from the toilet bowl, if I
It's like,
remember
"Where's the
correctly.
toilet bowl?" Yeah.
Those songs are out there, folks.
Memorable.
So we're going to round out the night. Thanks to everybody for coming out once again. I know that the night has been very little interactive-wise with you guys. Dave is my first guest, and I thought that being that, we would do the full night. What I'm going to do with guests upcoming, I've got some people. A lot of people are going to come in via the computer and maybe answer some questions and play a song. But with people like Dave who are around and can come in, it's great to have him for the full hour. I appreciate you being here, Dave.
Pleasure to be here, Ken.
And
Thanks for having me.
oh, you're always welcome. It's nice to have you. It's nice to see you again, aside from the music. You know? So this is a song. This is called Leland Hotel, right?
This is about this is called the Leland Hotel, and the Leland Hotel was a wild old place that you would remember in Winnipeg, and I got hung up there for a little while, and it's a true story. It's a true story. Fast forward 30 plus, probably 30 years, I'm in the Toronto airport, and Justice Murray Sinclair is walking towards the gate. I was going to Winnipeg, and I was home by then, but I was going to Winnipeg to play a gig or something, and Justice Murray Sinclair walks in. He sits beside me. We get talking, and I reminded him who I was, and he was an old professor of mine at the University of Manitoba.
Oh, cool.
After I got straightened out in Winnipeg and went back to school, he ended up being one of my professors, and so he remembered that, and so by that time he was the chair of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and we got talking about music, and I told him he was looking for music and or performing visual art that could be incorporated into the TRC report. I told him about a song I wrote called the Leland Hotel Blues, and he said, "Oh, I love the blues." Leland Hotel, eh? I said, "Yeah." He says, "You know, when I was a little boy and I had to go look for my dad, I'd go to the Leland Hotel." So it's like, wow.
Isn't that something, eh?
That's pretty cool. So,
Wow, that's
yeah. This is about some crazy old people, Scotty and Joe Harper, and some characters that I never changed their names in this song. So,
well. It's I played this song with you many times. I've never played guitar with it. You need a tune, or you good?
I tune it up.
Oh, good for you. So I'm gonna just move that mic in just a little bit closer to you. Yeah, there you go. That should be good there. I think it's cranked pretty hard. So, yeah. Don't go breaking your wrist now.
I'll tell you a story about one time in Hague, about a place downtown called the Leland Hotel, where there. The women cut the whiskey with a broken glass, and the men strut around in their cowboy hat. A punk sells dope, but it's really parsley flake. And he gets high no matter how long it takes. And a man gets cut and his face turns red. Everybody run around just to see if he's dead. And old Joe Harper sits on a bench outside. He came out to catch his breath just to tell another lie. Go back inside and order up a shot, but the shot had let no Joe got caught. He died on his back in the Leland Hotel. Now old Joe tells lies in a burning hell. You're just one of many who died with the blues at the Leland Hotel on William Avenue. And Scotty sells his woman for $50. He stuck out his thumb and she picked him up. Now she hustles for Scotty 'cause she's broken alone at the Leland Hotel when the sun goes down. There's not too much money in this old place, at least not enough. We got a pretty babe. Scotty beats his woman just to make her roll. Now all the ugly men, they can't get enough.
Oh, what a great song. What a great song. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Dave Mowat is his name. Dave Mowat and the Curbside Shuffle. If you're in and around the Kawartha area, right down through Port Hope, there's some gigs coming up. We're talking about maybe being on some of the same bills together, which would be cool. And I know I made some promises for this week. I said I was going to do some things. I didn't actually promise. But we ran out of time. We had such a good time chatting with Dave. But anyways, everybody, again, as always, now more than ever that people are starting to get back out. We've got our vaccines, and people are chomping at the bit to get back to work and do all that stuff, get their businesses going and get out and get food and haircuts and all that. Just remember, we've all got crazy stories from the last year, and everybody's still on edge. So be nice, be kind, try and be understanding. And we will see you all next week. Thank you very much. Thanks to Dave Moe for being here. Tomorrow, Alderville, 11 o'clock. If you want to do the march with the Sea of Orange.
Welcome you there.
And otherwise, the Alderville First Nation has a website. You can always reach out through there and, field any questions that you have. And on Facebook for Dave's Music, right? You don't have an actual website for that yet?
No, just a Dave Moe.
Keep it really low key.
Yeah, low key.
You know,
not tacky at all.
Yeah, you don't want too many people.
Yeah, not too many.
Okay,
Jimmy
take care,
Gretsch.
folks.